Yo, it's King of the Ring Boxing back again with a new video. So my subscribers have gone up quite dramatically, to be honest. Well, dramatically to me, they've gone up from it was 10 subscribers a few weeks ago and now it's 29. So I'm really thankful to each and every one of you. I know I did this in my last video, but I've just got to say it really sort of gives me motivation to make these videos. So yeah, so if you keep hitting that subscription button, obviously my videos will go to a wider audience and I'll get more, and obviously at a certain point I'll even try and edit my videos better, do you know what I mean? Jake Paul has confirmed that he is having a boxing fight with MMA and UFC star Ben Askren in the next few months. I believe he said the date was in April, and I'm seeing a lot of conflicting things online. Obviously people are saying that how can Jake Paul step in with obviously a legitimate combat sports athlete, and they're pretty much writing this off as a foregone conclusion. But I'm here to tell you that Jake Paul will beat the brakes off of Ben Askren easily, and here's why. So for me, Ben Askren is a wrestler. As you can look through his resume, you can look through his past achievements. I believe he went to the Olympics for the USA, competed in wrestling. I believe he's won a few national titles in America, in the wrestling arena. But when he's crossed over to MMA, I implore any one of you who's going to argue against me, I implore any one of you to go and find me one sequence or one combination of punches. It doesn't matter whether it's in a boxing stance, it doesn't matter whether it's in a kickboxing stance, it doesn't matter if it's in any sort of MMA style where punches are being thrown. I beg one of you to find me a video where Ben Askren looks coordinated or Ben Askren looks good whilst doing it. And the thing is, you won't be able to find a video. I went over a few of his fights, and he's a very gifted wrestler, granted, but when he's had to stay on his feet, he looks lost. Obviously, if this was an MMA fight, I'd say yeah, Ben Askren would beat Jake Paul, because he would just take him down and wrestle fuck him essentially, and probably get him to submit within one round. But in the arena of boxing, Jake Paul will beat Ben Askren handedly. It does not matter if you do one certain combat sport, that you won't necessarily, just because you're highly skilled in one art of combat, does not mean that you'll be proficient in another art of combat. It's for example, if I played baseball or if I played cricket, it doesn't mean that I'd be able to switch over to baseball or vice versa and be at the same standard or be at the same level. So yeah, to me it's common sense. Jake Paul has been training for the best part of 3 or 4 years, and I just see this fight going one way, and the only way I see this fight going is with a stoppage or a one-sided fight. Obviously, the one thing that's going for Ben Askren is probably ring experience and stamina. But again, as we've seen, in terms of the stamina, the way that mixed martial arts and wrestling rounds are split up and the timings of them are way different to boxing. So would that stamina even be able to cross over? Do you know what I mean? Would you be able to carry over the sort of elite level stamina that you had in your previous sport into a new sport? Because the training is different, the amount of explosiveness is different as well, and yeah, I just don't see how he can. If it would be different if it was an MMA star who primarily uses their hands or primarily boxes in the cage, but since it's Ben Askren, who's, from what I'm reading, an elite level wrestler, I think because Jake Paul has trained for the last 4 years, I think Jake Paul will beat him. And I don't think that's not a wild prediction at all. Look, Jake Paul has been training since before he fought Deji. I think that all that experience will be enough to beat a guy who's only just started training in boxing for maybe the last few months, maybe since he was contacted about this fight, I'm guessing. He probably never even expected to get an offer for this fight, you see. So I don't even think that he will be remotely ready. Like, I'll put my hands up and say, look, I was wrong if Ben Askren does beat Jake Paul, but I think Jake Paul will smash him. And I know people will say that they think otherwise because they hate Jake Paul, but what I'm saying is to remove your emotion and look at it objectively, and there's only one result: Jake Paul KO and Ben Askren. Then after that, I believe that the Conor McGregor fight will be next. Because where does Conor have to go, really? Because the Pacquiao fight's off, and obviously Jake Paul's offering him $50 million, and I don't think he'll get a better offer anywhere else. I'll defo make a reaction video or a review video of the fight once it's happened. But yeah, I'm just predicting it's a one-sided fight. Ben Askren is going to look like a fish out of water. One prediction: Jake Paul by knockout. As always, like, share, comment and subscribe. Especially hit the subscribe button. As I've already said before, it really does help my channel. I'm getting a wider audience. I mean, oddly enough, I was looking at the analytics for my videos, and it shows that more women watch my videos than men. So yeah, I was kind of surprised by that. It's shocking. Like, I was always sort of assumed that being a combat sports channel that it'd be more men, but yeah, it's a nice surprise. So yeah, all the girls watching, like, share, comment, subscribe. It's King of the Ring Boxing. I'm out.